Happy to have Buff Bagwell with us, professional wrestling fame from WCW and NWA we've seen him involved with and many more. Well, he's going to be involved with here in the Chillicothe area down at Waverly High School. It's the December to Remember coming up this Saturday night at Waverly High School's downtown gym. Thank you for joining us. Coming out of Georgia, right?
Yes, sir. Atlanta, Georgia.
Which is home to a lot of TV stuff for professional wrestling. I imagine a lot of you guys have made your permanent residences down there.
We did. I'm born and raised here. So actually, when I grew up, I was thinking I wanted to move. I didn't want to live where I grew up. I thought there were bigger things and better places and all of that. And then I signed with WCW out of Atlanta with Ted Turner, and it was I found out pretty quick that Atlanta was a good city. Um, I remember flying in. One of the first cities we flew into was Detroit, and I'm like, "What a dump!" I mean, it was crazy. And there's pretty parts of every city, but I just really believe with my heart and soul, not because I'm from here, because I've seen the world, and I mean, brother, the world I've seen, and Atlanta is a it's up there, brother. It's in the top five in the world to me of the best, biggest, cleanest, best cities to live in the world.
There are some that might say that the best part of Detroit is Windsor, Ontario, right across the. So
Very good.
we've got the Fan Fest. It's going to be at Waverly's downtown gym. And I know you've been to Chillicothe before. I don't know that you've been to Waverly before.
No, I have not. I've never been to Waverly, so I'm excited to come in. Ohio, this time of year can be kind of ugly with the weather, but hopefully the weather's good and just just excited to come there. Like I said, Chillicothe's a big wrestling haven, and Waverly's not too far from there, so I think it's going to be a very big event.
Where did you hook up with Jimmy Hines, aka Bobby Fulton? Of course, he had the WWE days. I know you had a short-lived response with WWE, but I didn't know if you had crossed paths with other associations or not.
Oh man, I've crossed paths with all of them. But Bobby along the way was just one of those guys that was a real great guy, very solid. And in this industry, that's very hard to find. I've worked with and for Bobby for 20 years. So just a really good guy. He knows he can depend on me. I can depend on him. He was a great wrestler. He just really was an all around good person, and we always were good friends.
And you guys get together a lot, not just you and Jimmy, but uh, most of the wrestling community. You see each other at these fan fests and things of that sort. And I know that's relatively new to what Jimmy's been doing the last couple of years. But prior to that, it was just coming in, wrestling, and going on. But now it's an all-day affair.
It really is. It's crazy, and but it's still kind of hard to see the guys because you come in, and if you're there to make money, which was that's what we were there for, it's kind of tough to walk around and see the guys. So, but we are at a lot of the same events. It's just literally to go to the bathroom and come back to your table. It's a big deal because it's just, hey, how you doing, and shaking hands, and can somebody try to get a free picture, and it's a big deal. It's a great platform everybody's been a part of with wrestling. It's just great to get out there and have another avenue of money. Used to when you were off TV, you were out of money. But now there's a whole life after wrestling. I got two new action figures coming out. So it's just the old is the new, and the word legend kind of I think my name goes under that now, and which is I think is a great title. And I love being a legend, and it's just a lot of fun to still matter in this world of pro wrestling.
And I know a lot of other sports have followed suit with what wrestling has been doing because you guys are making money now in your post wrestling lives, much like, say, Brett Favre going out and getting money. He can't make it as a quarterback anymore, but he can make it as, like you say, a legend. And it's just opened a whole new venue for money to be able to give you something to live on.
Absolutely. It's crazy. I mean, somebody like Brett, I mean, it's mind-boggling to me. Like Sting is one of the biggest famous wrestlers in the world, and me and Sting were best friends, growing up, and still are fantastic friends. But it has got to blow his mind that when he goes to an event, if let's say you go to an event this year to WrestleCade, and thousands of people show up and they get in line to see him. Well, surely the next year they're not going to do the same thing, but they do, and it's bigger. It's the craziest thing I think I've ever seen, and all the way down to a Buff Bagwell. It's crazy for me too. It's like my phone doesn't stop ringing. It's somebody wanting to do something, whether it's a movie or a signing or a commercial or helping a protein selling products. It's crazy what really is out there, and it seems like it just I don't know how, but it's like it doesn't go away. You would think if 1,000 people came this year, 500 would come next year. Let me give you a perfect example. We run Atlanta, Georgia for Monday Night Nitro this Monday. 80,000 showed up, but we can't run it next Monday because nobody's going to come. And if they do come, it's going to be half the crowd. Sting could be somewhere every weekend and it draw. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. These fans are wonderful. They're wide open. They love this wrestling industry, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
You're passionate and dedicated, no question about it.
Unbelievable.
And Southern Ohio is no different. And of course, you and many others will be there. We've got Jerry the King Lawler's coming, along with Scott Steiner, and Rick Steiner's going to be there.
Yeah.
You're going to see. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at the card now and I'm forgetting about some of the things. But we're going to see Raj going to be here, Sergeant Slaughter's going to be here, and Spivey, and a whole lot more. And,
I mean, it names somebody, and they're going to be there. It's crazy.
Right. I've not looked at the card, which it's always subject to change in regards to the ring action. Are you wrestling this weekend, or are you just there for the fan show?
Yeah, I don't wrestle anymore. 2020, I had a really bad car wreck that ended my career, and I didn't know it had ended my career until recently. I did my last surgery I needed, and it just didn't go well. So I've got my leg still, which was in the mix of maybe not keeping my leg, but I still I got my leg, and I'm able to walk, but I'm not able to perform ever again in a wrestling ring. So I do help out though, like I'll manage somebody or be a part of the show. If they allow or they want, I do. But on this specific show, no, I am not involved.
I know when guys are in their prime and they're on the sea wave of anything and everything in regards to wrestling. But then suddenly the career starts to dwindle down in some respects as far as the big shows are concerned. But what's it like to know that it's coming to a close, unfortunately, due to an injury, like an accident? I mean, both of them have to be mental difficulties to handle that you got to go through. But is it easier when it's a physical issue and it's like, okay, that makes my decision a lot easier?
No, it doesn't make it easier at all because it was my fault. But at the same time, out of that, something so awful that ended my career that was my fault, which was driving under the influence a vehicle and wrecking the vehicle. I found a whole new sober life out of it. I'm 2 years sober from that event. Right. And so I'm very happy. I really believe I would have never found sobriety without this happening. God warned me several times, and I did not listen. And then he let me, my rock bottom wasn't financial. My rock bottom was physically. He hurt me where he knew he could or should have, and that was he physically. I hit a physical rock bottom, and it was from that is where I got sober. So yeah, it's tough. I love that. I love this industry so much, and it is tough. But again, it's not. I'm not sad about it because without that, I would have never found this happiness of sobriety.
Right. You guys put yourselves through so much from when you start. You're probably maybe doing some things that you probably shouldn't do in regards to the way you land, or you haven't learned how to do everything properly to
Sure.
be able to keep yourself fit. How many years did it take you to finally get to a point where you say, you know what? If I roll this way, it's going to make it a little bit better. you know, that stuff doesn't come to you naturally, does it?
Of course, it does. We're all, no matter this industry, I've never seen anything like it. I'm not just saying that because I'm in it, but I've seen superstar athletes be horrific, horrible in a pro wrestling ring. And I've seen guys that couldn't throw a baseball be the best wrestlers in the world. So it's a very different thing. Like I said, it's not a super athlete doesn't make a great wrestler. It just doesn't. It's a different format. But again, a lot of pro athletes and great athletes do make great wrestlers, but it's not because they're athletic. It just takes a mix of all of it, and the better of the mix you get, the better of a star that you are. And to me, out of those things that you check off in the box to become the best wrestler, the equal of the best wrestler is The Rock. To me, The Rock is what every professional wrestler should shoot for that's trying to make it is The Rock. He looks the part. He talks the part. He's big. He's tall. He's strong. He's great in the ring. He's everything. And with wrestling, it's really hard to have everything. But he's got it all, and that's why he is the best.
Yeah, those are the really good verbal guys that are able to carry a line and deliver it the way you do with such great showmanship. That
Yeah,
really grabs our attention. And
sure.
so it's great to know, but and that's all part of your development along the way, though. I'm sure you learn things from other guys to help you when you're traveling through Arkansas or wherever you're at this week.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of just take things along the way and you kind of make it yours, and you just kind of become you just kind of keep working on your character that you're trying to look for, and you finally I settled with Buff Bagwell.
You've been around long enough to see the transformation of like the Rhodes kids, going from Dusty's dad to now they're at the forefront of what we're seeing in
Yeah.
today's professional wrestling. What's it like to see the generational aspects of this?
It's really wonderful. For starters, Dusty is who hired me. So Dusty Rhodes, 33 years ago in 1991 in Atlanta, Georgia, hired Marcus Alexander Bagwell to a WCW contract. So I love the Rhodes family. I love Dusty Rhodes. He's a great man. God rest his soul. Just a great, great, great guy that gave me a chance. So I saw the Rhodes thing firsthand and was at WCW wrestling with Dustin at that junction. So great guy, great family, and great, 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 great guy, Dusty Rhodes.
When folks come to the fan fest, will they be able to have? I mean, you and I are talking a lot here, but it's more than a meet and greet, isn't it? You do get a chance to spend a minute or two talking with some of the folks.
Anybody that's ever saw Marcus Bagwell at a event, they walk away going, "Man, that's a really nice guy." I always take time out. It means something to me special for somebody to ask for my autograph. I can't speak like that for all the wrestlers. I know there's several out there that do not do that. Part of it I do get. There's a line and it's kind of tough, but at the same time, I can't do it no other way but to give somebody a few moments of my time and thank them and for being a fan and all that. That's what makes me tick. So I love the fan interaction and looking forward to it this Saturday.
I think what makes us so unique here is you could go to the same type of event in Columbus, but that line's going to be a lot longer than it's going to be at Waverly High School. And you just have more opportunities for the intimacy of getting to know the wrestlers and the folks, stars that you've watched and grown up with and everything too. Again, it's Saturday afternoon and 12 until 5 will be the Fan Fest at Waverly's downtown gym. The Super Show starts at 7 o'clock, and that's where the wrestling will be taking place there. Buff, thank you so much for your time. It's been cool to get a chance to see you on TV and then talk to you in person and wearing one of probably 30 hats you have, I'm sure.
Yes,
Keeping that wardrobe alive. Buff, well,
absolutely.
where can people find you on social media?
They can find me at Marcus Buff Bagwell, anything, Twitter, all the socials. The best way to find me is to go to Marcus Buff Bagwell at Gmail. Marcus Buff Bagwell at Gmail. And personally, I personally take care of my own emails and stuff. So people do find out that it's me that does that. And with my socials, it's too hard to keep up with all of them, but I still keep hands on with all of them. But check it out. I am Marcus Buff Bagwell, everything.
Well, we have a little bit of snow on the ground up here now, but by the time you get here, we'll be probably in the hopefully low to mid 40s. So it'll be a little more comfortable when you get here.
I like it.
Buff Bagwell, thank you for joining us here.
Nice seeing you guys. See you Saturday.